guest starred on like Lost, NCIS, Deadwood, All of Us, Charmed, Crossing Jordan.
Girlfriends. I've been the token white dude on 2 shows. All of Us and Girlfriends.
Nice.
Yeah. Girlfriends a much better show than All of Us, which is fucking horrible. Sorry, Paramount, but you know, and the writers are friends. I love them. And wait.
You're even an episode of Friday 13th series.
Yeah, I am.
A long time ago.
I am.
Is there any like, since that's such a kind of a wide spectrum of genres, is there any certain genre that you're like, I really like doing this more, I wish I was more known for doing these kind of roles rather than...
I wish I was more known for banging hot chicks. No.
Always good.
You know, I don't know. It's like this last year has been such a wide spectrum of the gambit, if I think I use that word wrong. But I did a bunch of movies, and they were all different. I did Trade, which was with Kevin Kline. That's about the child sex slave trade. And that's really, really dark, but in a very underplayed, real way. Mm-hmm. So there's nothing about it that is... Your suspension of disbelief is a very easy transition because it's not like I'm a vampire or fighting robots. I'm just a person. But I'm a really dark, evil person, in the way that the IRS is evil. Not that they have fangs or anything, but they're purposefully making your life suck. So to play a part like that, and then do Transformers, and then do Blood Rain, where I'm a vampire, and that was fun. And I don't know if that movie's going to be good, but that was fun to do. And then doing a comedy like Postal. I don't know. I really enjoy pushing myself to different levels. And as you can see here, we have a huge Titus fan base, and that's a completely different style of comedy. 4-camera. In the industry, that's what we refer to as 4-camera, because it's a proscenium stage. We call a single camera like My Name Is Earl, or The Office. Even though they have 2 cameras spinning, it's referred to as a single camera shooting style. And 4-camera, the sitcom style is much more like, but I'm bunch. And that's kind of going the way of the dodo. That's dying out, and I think Titus is actually one of the last good one. But I still love doing that. I love making people laugh. It makes it difficult for me because I'm not a genre-specific actor, and I'm not a huge name like Brad Pitt. So when he does Interview with the Vampire, he is the head of that genre. And then when he rolls over to The Mexican, he's part of the romantic comedy genre. I'm a character actor who can do everything. And although that's beneficial because I'm always working, it's detrimental because there's a level of branding that goes on. That people need to know that face, and they want to say, that's the guy who makes me laugh. And I trust him to make me laugh, so I want to see him in another TV series. Or that's the guy who's scary. He's the monster guy. And although there's a catch-22 where if you're branded into that environment, it's easier for you to get that job. If there isn't another one of those jobs, then you can't get it. But when you do get that job, if you're branded into it, you make more money. As opposed to, you do an episode of Girlfriends or All of Us, and you're making $4,800 for the week. Or, actually, sitcoms like $3,000, which sounds like a lot of money, and it is if you make it every single week of the year, but you don't. You have months down, and then $3,000 minus 20% agent commission, and then you look at alimony. Sad but true. And then you look at taxes, and at $3,000, you're walking away with $1,200. And you might not work for another 3 weeks. So that's $1,200 a month. So that's $400. That's $300 a week. Math. High school. Yes, that's $300 a week. So that sucks dick. That's Taco Bell money, bitches. So it's a long-winded answer to your question. There is no genre that I enjoy more because I find each one a challenge. Sometimes I wish I had gone from Titus to doing another sitcom. Because the money's awesome, but honestly, the relationship with the audience where you get to build that character and that trust, and you get to go to crazier and crazier places with the character when they know you and they believe you because they have a whole arc. That would have been awesome. It didn't happen. So I think since I did Titus, I've done about 15 movies, 17 films. And if anybody out there have a series, let me know. We'll work on it. See if it's any good.
So, do you prefer doing stuff on TV, or do you prefer movies now since you've done a lot of movies since?
It's kind of the same fucking question. You know, movies are like going to camp. You know, you go to camp and you go camping, you go canoeing and you shoot a bow and arrow and it's awesome. And then when you go back to see your mom, you don't really need to shoot a bow and arrow or, you know, paddle a canoe. But for that 2-month period, it's a lot of fun. You're completely ensconced in that lifestyle. That is everything you're doing. And it has a finite finish. So in some ways, it's really easy. Like when you see Brad Pitt or you see G.I. Jane, Demi Moore, and you get all excited for how in shape and buff they are. Honestly, dude, if someone was gonna give me $500,000 to work out for 6 months, I'd be a fucking god. I'd be a god. Make love to myself every morning.
I do that anyway.
Yes, hello. But I mean, it has a finite goal. You know, you have that scene where you know you battle the bad guy, and you and I will fight. And I need to look really cool, during that moment. And then you know what? You get to eat bagels after that. Whereas if you're doing a series, you've got 22 episodes. If it's a sitcom, that's roughly 6.5, 7 months. If it's a drama, that's 9 months out of the year. You're busy. You know, you're every day going to work, doing your thing. It's a different thing again. You know, and I think nowadays, you watch all the big movie actors coming down and working on TV. They actually make better money. And they like the consistency. They go on a sitcom, they get to go home, see their family, hang out, not have to sit around for 2 months hoping that they're going to get another job. I'm not answering any of these questions with a yes or no answer, and I'm sorry. My mom's name is Pamela Hyatt, Pamela Hallett Hyatt, because we have an English side of the family, and they like really verbose old world names. My older brother's name is Carson Thaddeus Foster. Like that won't get your ass beat up. Thaddeus. That was my grandfather's name. My mother is still an actress. She's 70 years old. She did 8 plays last summer in Vancouver, Canada. When I started acting, I was 10. I had asked her for years if I could do it, and she said no. And she was at the Stratford Theatre Festival in Stratford, Ontario, doing Lady Capulet and Romeo and Juliet, a whole bunch of different plays.
Are you a big fan of horror movies?
I love horror films.
Which one are some of your favorites?
Pumpkinhead is actually one of my all-time favorites because I saw it when I was a kid and I thought it had a great mythology. Highlander, although I wouldn't call Highlander really a horror film, but the design for the Cargan back in the flashbacks was awesome, and 98% of that movie is great until you get to the ending, and then it's like, I got the magic to be able to tell what people's thoughts are and help them get along and be friends, and you're like, who fucking cares? That's gay. Other horror films, I like Black Christmas. Bob Clark from Christmas Story did that. I just saw that recently. It was classic. So well done. I'm not really good with lots of gore. I literally just end up hiding in my chair. I'm a lot of fun to see horror films with because I scream like a 8-year-old girl. And I'm sitting in the theater and I'm literally doing this because I'm a puss. And the people in front, by the time the movie was over, and I kept on kicking their chair, they got out and I was like this. And when they walked out, they're like, "You were very brave." Like I was a little girl. I was like, "Thank you." Pan's Labyrinth was awesome, but I don't even know if that classifies as a horror film. What would you say is a good horror film? Bram Stoker's Dracula?
Evil Dead is the greatest horror movie of all time.
And you know, did you see the 2 versions of the first Evil Dead before they went to Army of Darkness?
Evil Dead 1 and 2?
Yeah.
And certain things are exactly the same, but then they reshot the same movie.
Yeah.
And then you can see how like the chain is laying out in a line. There's a chain. It's on the ground. Shut up. And it's the shape of like the skull. And then the way they started going through the forest with a camera on the 2x4s. I love that shit. I have a lot of friends of mine who do special effects. Todd Tucker, look him up on the internet. Greg Kamen from, I always say his last name wrong. He's gonna kill me because I love the guy. Captive Audience Productions, which is now turned into Drax Studios, which they did Bram Stoker's Dracula, Lost Boys, Van Helsing, Exorcism of Emily Rose. They got a ton of shit. And then another friend of mine, Greg Aronowitz, works with George Lucas, Spielberg, doing character design and molding and sculpting. And he's got a film out, LaBou.com. So LaBou, L-A-B-O-U, themovie.com. It's kind of like The Goonies, and it's low budget, but you should see the cool stuff that they did. It's like a action kids film. So I get to work around people who do all the special effects for that stuff. I still can't watch the exorcism of Emily Rose without doing one of these.
Oh, I do that too. It's alright.
So we're both women?
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm. I'm a man.
Not by my standards, no.
Yeah.
So you kind of got to work with two of the big horror movie icons. You were in Freddy vs. Jason.
Yeah. Yeah.
How was it like being on that?
That was really cool. The original script is very different from what you guys saw at home. The original script had Freddy as a straight out pedophile, as opposed to the whole, swing, I'm going to hurt you kind of characterization. It was straight up pedophilia, and there was a scene in the original script where he takes a little girl downstairs in the boiler room, and it's numbing. Like, not numbing, but it's chilling. You read the scene and you just, it's not funny or it's not like, oh snap, it's just upsetting. And then Jason the way they were going to do it was that he was, this poor kid who was a crippled or handicapped child who just had the crap abused out of him, and he ended up lashing out, and he was very wounded emotionally, and you actually had a lot of pathos for his character. And then they changed to become more of a campy style of what you see. I got to shoot, I get to have all the prosthetics. I don't know if you saw all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they spent like 5 hours, and they've got these tubes right down the back of my arm, so these slits that open up, and I'm in a bathtub filled with blood, and these tubes go through the wall, and these guys are waiting to pump the blood, so it goes like this. My first day shooting, it's inside this bathroom. There's a bunch of scenes that got cut out, so the first day is actually a flashback to a dream sequence. Well, it's a dream sequence to a flashback of when I cut my wrist. So I'm walking in this bathroom, apparently underneath, the hypnotic dream power of Freddy, and I'm walking around, kind of, what's going on? And I open up the bathroom mirror, and I take out the razors, and I walk in the bathtub, and I slit my wrist. And I'm naked. So my first day on set is in the studio with this faux bathroom set, and me wearing nothing but a cock sock, which is the technical term that we use in the industry, and it basically looks like a jock strap with the straps cut off, and his skin color, or in my case, bright pink with freckles, and you tape it to the top of your stomach below your belly button, you drop your junk in it, and it kind of hangs there, and that's how I got to meet the crew. It's like, hello, this is all of me, and then, hello. So that was humiliating and fun.
So in your estimation, who won in that movie? Who was the winner?
I'm a big Freddy fan, he's a big Jason fan. We've had arguments for years.
Well, at the ending, Freddy comes back, so... And does Jason come back at the ending? No, he's dead. You don't see anything.
Well, Jason's holding Freddy's decapitated head, and then Freddy winks.
But didn't they have another ending where they're like making love, and then they get shredded up again?
Yeah, that was one of the alternate endings on the DVD.
I don't even know if I watched that one.
I don't know. It's one of those things where it seems like, that's one thing I really like about Joss Whedon, like on Serenity, where, and I can't remember the character's name, so I apologize, but the guy who pilots the ship, and he's like I'm like a feather in the storm, like a feather in the storm, and then he dies. And they raise the stakes by taking a character that you think, well, he's the lead character of the movie, he's never going to go anywhere, and boom, they kill him. And with Freddy vs. Jason, they always kind of pussy out. If you look at the first, and now I know everyone's going to kill me on this one, but you look at the first Friday the 13th, and at the very ending when the water is dead still, it's fucking terrifying. Like, didn't you guys sit there watching it to see what was going to happen? And it's terrified, like the hair on the back of your neck going, and nothing ever happened. You're like, okay. And it was more terrifying. Then the hand comes up, and like we were saying before, yeah, it has to be inevitable but unexpected. And both those endings were completely expected. And I don't have to worry about being in the sequel, Freddy versus my dog or whatever, because I'm dead, fuckers. So I can say what I like. But yeah, I find that with those films, it's always that campy expected ending because no one's got the balls to risk the end of the franchise. And it's not just them, it's like, look at X-Men 3. Come on. Come on. When Picard's in the other guy's head, I mean, Professor X, that's the same ending as Videodrome. Mm-hmm. Right? Anybody with me?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
come on, we already did this, and it's the safest thing to go. Well, not only does his brainwaves go into the other guy, but they start to look like him too, because we got under contract. I mean, it's a little cheeky.
But see, they try to trick people because they put it after the credits, so nobody would know.
Oh yeah, that tricked us.
Yeah.
Like you didn't stay to the very end of the credits.
I heard about
this guy was there while they were scooping up popcorn. He's like,
no, there's more. I swear.
They're gonna show a little bit. It'll be a blurb.
Sir, we're closed. No. I thought it was gonna be more.
He's coming. Yeah.